Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima. This one's a little weird, I grant you, but trust me, there's a reason for this. I actually got the physical version of UnMetal because the digital version was just too far away for my liking, so I figured I'd grab this instead. We don't even know when the digital version is coming out, if there's one coming at all, so there you go. This edition apparently contains the UnMetal game, original soundtrack, the certificate, and a printed manual. We will look through all of them because, first of all, why not? And second of all, when am I going to get to do this again? Open up a Vita physical version. Turns out relatively soon, but we're going to completely ignore that one for now. Let's open this one up. I do apologize for the weird way it has been set up because I'm currently balancing this, as you can see in the top left corner of the screen, on my microphone. So there you go. PlayAsia exclusive number 88, apparently. Is this a sticker? It looks like a sticker, but it's a weird sticker because it's got the branding on it, and branding is just, yeah. Doesn't even have the developer's name when you think about it. How unusual is that? Anyway, here's the box. Again, just because it was already sealed up one way, now it's sealed up another way. Great. Where's my bloody knife? Alright. Try not to damage the packaging. He says, with the rustiest blade he can possibly find. Come on, just need a little bit. That ought to do the trick. Nope, I've just damaged the packaging. Oh, no, hang on. Hang on, we got it. Got a little bit of it. This is why I don't do this shit on video. It turns into an absolute nightmare. Alright. Hey Dankpods, how you going? Clearly doing this in a vain attempt to leech off you for views, despite the fact you are clearly doing better than I am. Plastic shit's on the bottom, and yeah, the UnMetal is it sticks out from the case. That's kind of neat. Nothing about that on the back though. Is that a number there? Number 1577? Alright. Box opens up like so. And we'll start with the CD, I suppose. The UnMetal original soundtrack, composed by Jose Jaime Hidalgo de la Torre. Welcome to Hell, a crime that you have not committed. Fox's first mission. 4-track. What? Strange Sewers. Good military base of hell. Goodbye to the jungle. I won't read the rest of these out. Beautiful robotic spiders. Never mind, I'm going to read that out. What do we got on the right? Drama Queen, tribute to AT, Romantic Fox, Super Victor's trailer, Bombo Clap, and Game Over. Alright, what does the CD look like on the inside? Hopefully not smash when I drop the blade. Once again, we just need a little bit of a snap, and we can take care of the rest with the fingers. Sometimes it's something kind of neat, like, you know, you stick 2 fingers in and it looks like a butt. We have the track listing on the inside there. Is there anything on the internal? Oh, there is. I think it's some art of the protagonist. On the inside we have, yep, it's Jesse Fox doing his best Kyle Reese impression. Fair enough. Yes, his name. No, is it Jesse Fox or is it? It is Jesse Fox because it's really close to Jesse Cox, and that makes me uncomfortable. The CD itself, smack, just the same stuff that was on the cover. The copyright says Francisco Teles de Menezes, licensed and published at East Asia Soft, and underneath the CD, there's actually the 8-bit version of Jesse Fox. Alright, the box continues to open up, and we have a plastic insert. We have UnMetal certificate number. Yep, number 1577. With the same artwork of him as in the inside of the CD case. I was expecting a codec number, but why would I ever? And finally, the game itself. Again, with the Kyle Reese from the Terminator pose. What's on the back? It's the same description. Can you see the screenshots there? Let's get it out of the case first. Wait, why did I do it that way? I can just use this thing on the bottom. Always satisfying to do that, even if you don't do it on camera. Focus. I think these are all screenshots being used to promote, like, another version of it, because I'm pretty sure I've seen half of them before. Fair enough, nothing particularly of note worth printed on the back. Open her up. We have the manual. They really do like using the Kyle Reese, the 8-bit guy there as well. They like using just the similar images. Shame, really. Alright, we got the controls there. What else? The trophies? Why the trophies? I do not understand. And some notes. And the back, and that's it. No instructions, no nothing. Well, that was a bit disappointing for a physical manual. You'd hope for a bit more than that. Remember when they used to be like 40 pages long and they would actually give you an idea of everything you need to know about the game? You could read it, like when you're on the shitter or something. And of course, we've got the game cartridge. No one ever takes these out of the cases the right way. Yeah, it's just the same Kyle Reese pose. Vlas 4103. It's going back in the case for about 30 seconds until I actually pop the game into the Vita, because I am actually really looking forward to this one. Anyway, catch you after the intro. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out UnMetal. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I've actually known about this for some time. As it turns out, the developer, Unepic Fran, actually released a demo of this on Steam as part of the first Steam Game Festival that they had, and I just happened to see it. And I'm like, a Metal Gear parody? Sure, why not? I'll give it a shot. I played it for 10 minutes. It had a fair bit more content than that, but I played it for 10 minutes, and I'm like, I gotta fucking get this. And now I have. And as you can see by the beginning of the video, I got the physical version. Awesome. And, I mean, the physical version didn't actually impress me that much, as you heard in there. I wish the printed manual was a bit more intense. I wish there was more art on it. But, I mean, it's a physical version. What do you expect these days? But anyway, let's get on to talking about the actual gameplay. Now, I'm going to talk about the gameplay first and the story and the writing second, because the gameplay... it's nothing overly special, but it's relatively well made and well balanced. It's clearly in service of the story, and I'll explain what I mean by that later. But right now you're seeing some of the basics going on. You're seeing a inventory combine in order to make a useful item. You're seeing me trying to stealthily put down guards. You do also have the ability to go up to them and just beat the crap out of them. You'll see that later on. You do also have the ability to shoot them, but strangely enough, there's actually a mechanic for that where a doctor that you meet early on in the story is like, hey, do you mind not killing people? It makes more work for me and it really makes me feel bad. And also the doctor is smoking hot, so Jesse, the main protagonist, Jesse Fox, the name of the main protagonist is, he says, yeah, I guess I can do that because you're hot. That is pretty much his entire justification, but it's kind of a nice little throwback to just the concept of Metal Gear, which has always been like anti-war.
Look for another exit.
I mean, that's really putting it down to like the bare bones basics, but it's anti-war. Hideo Kojima never liked the fact there was much killing, so you're actively encouraged to not only be non-lethal, but also quiet, because you see in the top right that you have an experience meter, and when you level it up, you get to pick a new ability, and these abilities are actually quite useful, like apply healing items twice as fast, be able to lunge at people from a longer distance in order to knock them out a little bit quicker, things that are actively useful to you as a player. And they are quite useful in that sense. And yeah, with leveling up, the only way you can get experience is by taking out enemies quietly. So you have to get up to them, you have to knock them out, and you have to knock them out without them seeing you or without anyone else seeing you if you want the experience. Really clever little twist to encourage stealth in a game that doesn't otherwise encourage stealth that much. It is relatively easy to just shoot the crap out of people if you so desire, but the thing about it is that outside of that, the stealth isn't particularly great. I mean, the guards do actually have, like, decent hearing and a really good sight line. Like, they can see halfway across a room in this, which is a little bit of a bitch to deal with, I gotta tell ya. But they're kind of stupid. They work on preset patterns. They're relatively easy to distract. And as a result, the stealth isn't exactly front and center when it comes to the gameplay here. But to be fair, in the case of this game, I'm willing to let them get away with this one because, again, they did some clever things. Like, you have to take them out silently in order to get the experience. There's the whole thing about, please don't kill them, I don't want people to die. Kind of tying back into Metal Gear's anti-war messages. And there's also a couple of other, like, neat little things about it. Like how, if you get close to the edge of a screen, you'll see some red arrows warning you as to where the guards are going to be ahead of time. Just neat little things like that make it a pretty solid stealth... I didn't even mean to make that pun, I'm sorry. But it makes it a relatively solid experience, but at the same time, it's not massively up there. Admittedly, the game actually handles combat and puzzling a fair bit better as well. It's actually stage-based, so there are individual chapters. They each have their own unique stages. So you have things like, you keep all your items when you move from stage to stage, but there's no, like, going back for items later on or stuff like that, right? So you end up, it actually ends up being better slightly for action, because the controls are actually really well suited for it. You can only move in 8 directions, but you've got a commando roll, which actually lets you dodge bullets, because bullets don't actually fly very fast in this game. So, successfully managing to dodge an enemy's attack and then immediately pop back up, get lined up and fire off a shot. Really satisfying. Like, surprisingly satisfying for a game this simple. And as a result, whenever the game decides to throw a boss fight at you, they actually turn out to be some of the better parts of the game, gameplay-wise, because they've always got a unique gimmick going on. Like, for every regular old grenade guy or a soldier that you get as a boss fight, and don't get me wrong, they're actually relatively interesting fights, but for every one of them that you get one that's really out there, like a drone that tries to drop cargo container crates on you, or a bloody tentacle demon in the sewers. Stuff like that. It keeps things interesting, because the bosses always bring something new to the table, and you're going to need to get a little bit creative, I should say, in order to make sure they go down. And while I'm not going to say it's anything higher than relatively good, I'm not going to say it's great, I'm going to say it's, again, solid. It plays more than well enough. And the game's technical performance is mostly fine. When there's a lot of objects on screen, the frame rate tends to dip a little, and I've had the game crash on me once. But the game's autosaves are actually quite frequent, which is pretty good, because one thing about the stealth in this game that I really don't like is that there's nowhere to hide. So if you get spotted by a soldier, there's a pretty good chance that you're just going to end up dead. I'm only playing on normal difficulty, and there is nowhere to hide, and unless you are capable of robotically sticking in a corner and punching the shit out of dudes as they walk down the one hallway that you had room to run down, you're just gonna die. But yeah, checkpoints are so frequent that it's not really that big of a problem. I appreciate this. I just gotta bring it up though. It is a legitimate criticism. I'd like to see like some actual hiding places from just in place to place, you know, just give you a chance to survive. But again, since the checkpoints are so close, it's not as big of a deal as you might think. And considering that you probably want to go for nothing but stealth kills anyway, you might want to just die and reset and try again. So it's, again, not that big of a deal. Where the gameplay really comes into serving the main part of the game, though, is actually the story, which is kind of weird, but considering how uproariously funny this game is, like, intensely funny, it's no wonder why they decided to choose that angle over just your typical stealth gameplay angle. Because this is a relatively simple plot. You've been arrested for a crime you didn't commit, you're breaking out, but there's, of course, other things going on behind the scenes, and you need to figure that out while running into people who'll help you, getting through certain situations and what have you. But since this is a parody, pretty much every time you can think of, pretty much any time and situation you can think of, they're going to slip a joke in there. They're going to slip a ridiculous situation. They're going to slip something that pokes fun at the history of games like Metal Gear, and maybe a few movie parodies as well. Like, there's one in particular that's coming up that you're definitely going to recognize, numbnuts. And every single joke, and I'm not kidding about this one, every single joke that I've heard so far from UnMetal has been funny. Sometimes they're funny in the, oh god, please don't do that. Please don't say, oh god, you said it. Just that sort of really awkward laugh, you know? That is like, oh, that is just so bloody ridiculous. But there is not one joke I can say that I've heard so far in this game that hasn't been funny. And it is amazing how they managed to pull that off, with the game being as thick with its jokes as it is. Now, I admit that I've only played through Chapter 4, but that's still a good half the game. And it's ridiculous just how many tropes, how many ridiculous things, how many simple bits of wordplay he snuck in here that are funny. The guy's got a great sense of humor, but also a good sense of pacing. He knows exactly when it's appropriate to give you an extended gameplay section, and he knows when it's appropriate to start dropping jokes in, and it doesn't feel like it breaks up the game at all, and it's great. It's legitimately great, the writing and the pacing and the general tone of it. And thankfully, despite the fact that this game was made by someone who doesn't speak English as a first language, for the most part, the localization is okay, although there are definitely still typos here and there. The main examples I can think of are ones in the upgrade screens, and sometimes a simple word will be missing, and sometimes there will be, what am I thinking of? Sometimes the subtitles won't match up to the voice acting. But none of this is even remotely severe enough. This isn't Hollow Fragment levels of bad. This is absolutely tolerable and probably easily fixed with a patch. But there is a fair amount of it, so if you are an absolute grammar Nazi, don't. Just don't. Yeah, stay away from this one until they patch it at least, but still. I will maintain this until the day that I die. At the very least until Chapter 4. I do plan on playing the rest of the game to find out, but every single bloody joke has been funny. And the best thing is, he knows how to screw with you too. He knows how to make a running joke work. He knows how to surprise you at the right time. And there's this one absolutely brilliant thing about this game that I absolutely adore and elevates it from good comedy to great comedy. And that is the fact that you get to make choices from time to time. And these choices can not only come up with something funny, but they can actively affect the gameplay and make things harder or easier for yourself. So, let me give you one example. I don't want to spoil all the examples because if I do, I feel like I'd be spoiling all the good jokes for you. But here's an example. So, you already saw one back at the beginning of this footage, right? Where it's, you could choose between smells or hears. Where the smell, you had to avoid it when you've got the trail of scent coming off you. And hearing just requires you to go really slowly. I've done that both ways. I know how both of those choices turn out. In the boss well, in one of the bosses for the second chapter, that you get an option when you've got it to about 2/3 of its health. And the option is 2, 4, or 6. And he says, the damn thing had, and then it gives you the choice. 2, 4, or 6. If you pick 6, he says 6 tentacles. If you pick 4, he says 4 pairs of 2 tentacles. And when you pick 2, he says 2 pairs of 8 tentacles. Because the game has more or less acquiesced you to the idea at this point of the lower number will usually become easier. So when that one comes in and makes things incredibly hard for you, oh man, I was on the floor laughing. And even on top of that, there are tons of hidden little jokes around the place, which are great, that you wouldn't get throughout normal gameplay. Like, for example, punching the truck 7 times to get die truck. You never need to do that. You can just do that. Or punching a gas tank to blow yourself the fuck up. Or, what was the other one? The one you just saw there, where I rolled through all the fire thinking that was what I had to do, but then I got chided by the military guy who was interviewing me. Why didn't you just use the flame-proof suit that you had? You moron. I was like, I don't know. Why didn't I do that? There are tons of those little jokes hidden throughout the game. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They're all funny. Every single one. Not a single joke has missed, and it is amazing. I legitimately don't know how he managed to pull it off. Like, even the bloody one with the dogs, that got me stumped for a little bit. I tried to record this chapter before, almost completely blind, and I couldn't figure it out. And so while I was off, like, trying to figure out the process off screen, and then it turned out to be, oh, call him ahead of time so that the bloody dogs don't get woken up when he calls you later on. I was like, ah, you cheeky bugger. It's great. It's legitimately great just how much effort he went into to not only making a Metal Gear parody that parodies both the theme, that parodies all the themes, the genre, and just everything. He made it funny, and he mixed it into the gameplay in so many interesting ways. Not to mention it adds replayability, because every time you come back through a stage to like look for secrets or beat one of the challenges, you can pick another one. Like, for example, there's you got all these challenge medals lying around that you need to pick up, and when you pick them up, it unlocks the ability for you to get trophies. And of course, a lot of them are beat the chapter, level up, get certain things, or what have you. But some of them will be more interesting boss fight challenges, or more interesting other challenges, like beat the entire game without saving, for example. So, you know, you can do that. There's a fair bit of replayability in that, and the game does have a platinum. This isn't like the Sometimes You releases that give you platinums in 20 minutes. Nope, you're going to have to put in a fair amount of effort to get this game platinumed, I'll tell you that much. And I'll guess I'll top off the criticism by saying the voice acting is... I say excellent. I say excellent in comparison to other bigger things. Like, this dub would have been... Well, it is absolutely good. The voice actors are good, and it's clearly trying to be a parody. Like, Jesse Fox's voice actor is putting on his best Solid Snake impression. Or possibly Naked Snake, somewhere in between. And he does a pretty damn good job with it. And it's clearly meant to be a parody of that voice. A very loving parody, because he gets really close. It's actually impressive how close he is in terms of the voice acting. And not to mention all the other characters, they're absolutely good voices too. I'm just saying, they're good, but in comparison to like just other minor independent things, like independent games like this one, it's excellent. It's legitimately excellent. Like when the voice acting started up, and then when it kept being relatively high quality throughout, no matter who I was talking to, I thought to myself, this is actually really good for a project of this size, because it's like one guy that made this. Like, just like on Epic, but I mean, sure, he had help with the voice acting, but this is something that he basically made by himself. And it's really impressive. It's legitimately impressive just how well this was put together. So, I guess that's all I've got in relation to to UnMetal. And you know what? If I was making a Vita Top 100 list today, this would be in it. No question about it. This would be in there at some point. I don't know where, but this would absolutely be there. And as a result, I wholeheartedly recommend that you pick it up in any way, shape, or form if you are even remotely a fan of games like Metal Gear. Because every single line will have you cracking up at just how bloody stupid it is. But the gameplay is absolutely fine. It's got a lot of puzzling. It's got stealth, although that's not the main focus, and it's got some good action. It runs really well. I've only had it crash once, and again, the checkpoints are close enough together that it isn't that big of a deal. It's really well optimized. It's got great voice acting, and it's just incredibly creative about the amount of different ways that it can screw with you. The amount of different things you end up doing. The amount of ways that you can play around with the gameplay, that you can fiddle with it. That the gameplay itself turns into the joke. There's this one particular segment in Chapter 2, which I'm not going to spoil, but let me put it this way. Cheese. Anyone who's playing UnMetal at this point will know exactly the segment I'm talking about, and they'll know why I found that so amusing. But yeah, I can't recommend UnMetal highly enough. I really hope they get this out digitally so more people can buy it for their Vitas. And just like one patch to fix up the errors in the subtitles. And that would be it. It would be perfect as it is. Perfect for what it's trying to do. A Metal Gear parody that's clearly also a tribute to Metal Gear. That's really damn good at what it does. Even if the gameplay itself is more serving the story than it is serving the story serving the gameplay. Although even then, again, with the fact that you get to make those choices every now and again, it intersects. And the balance is more than good enough for me to say this is an instant recommend. I wholeheartedly, unequivocally tell you to go buy this. Honorary Top 100.
It was also rotting and gripping another.
This has been Blue Maxima.
The needle.
I'll see you all next time.
Missing. Someone or something in this jungle was stealing compass needles. There was a secret pocket in his ragged clothes. Within, I found a note. If you only found this note, then someone else stole my other note. Another note? Damn. Someone passed by before I did and stole this poor man's note. I never knew what the other note said. Third corpse. Fuck, that jungle was more dangerous than I expected. It was rotting too. Like the others, it had a compass on it.
Don't tell me. The needle was missing.
Exactly.
Could it be that you were running into the same corpse over and over again?
I commend you for coming to the same conclusion. I passed by 7 times to confirm it. I was wandering in circles. The damn jungle was toying with me. I had to orient myself somehow or I'd end up spending 30 years in that maze of trees. I tried to direct myself by watching the stars. But the damn top-down view only let me see the trees and ground. So, I had to find another way to gain direction.
What was the diameter of the compass, Mr. Fox?
Around 2 inches.
And how long was the rusty wire, Mr. Fox?
6 or 7 inches.
Wasn't it a little too long to place it inside the compass?
I'm stupid, but not that stupid. I just used a small piece of the rusty wire, not the whole thing. I ripped off a piece with my teeth before placing it in the compass.
But that wire wouldn't have been magnetized. How did you expect it to work?
Modern compasses don't need the wire to be magnetized. Just turns out the compass wasn't modern. I was looking at the compass, thinking of how to make it work, when something caught my eye. In the middle of the grass, something glimmered under the pale moonlight. In my peripheral vision, I noticed I was not the only one to spot it. I was so hungry that I almost bit into the raw steak. But I remembered that it's a crime to kill an animal for its meat.
Are you vegetarian?
No, killing them is a crime. That's why I eat them when they're still alive.
Attention! Are you ladies the new recruits? Fuck, you're the saddest bunch I've ever met. And I've seen stacks of shit taller than you are. You think you're macho because you stuck your dicks in God knows what hole. I'm going to beat you shit stacks into weapons of war, even if it kills you. Where are you from, boy?
From Minnesota, sir.
Minnesota? Only two things come out of Minnesota. Men and soda. I don't see you bubbling, so you must be a min.
What's a min, sir?
Do I look like a scientist to you, pissant?
Sir, no, sir.
You're not worth an Urban Dictionary entry, shit stain. What do you do at night, scumbag?
I sleep, sir.
Sleep? Well, excuse me, princess. Does she need a little nap? We don't get beauty sleep. We take shifts, bitch. We train. We go the extra mile.
When do we sleep, sir?
During your break time, your highness.
But, sir, it's a 15-minute break.
Then sleep fast, fuck.
Yes, sir.
The fuck happened to your eyebrows?
They're shaped, sir.
You kidding me? Are you the bitch of the yard?
Sir, it's personal hygiene, sir.
The only reason people get clean is to get fucked. Do you plan on fucking me, bitch?
No, sir.
Do you plan on fucking the enemy?
No, sir.
If I see these eyebrows shaped again, I will shape your balls clean with a single vicious rip. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And where the fuck did you come from? You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. Did your father fuck an orangutan?
Sir, no, sir.
Fuck, your face is a sales pitch for condoms. Have you ever screwed needle dick?
Yes, sir.
You can't be serious. What did you screw? A light bulb?
Sir, no, sir.
So you've never screwed in a light bulb?
Sir, yes. No, sir. I don't know what to say.
You say what I tell you to say.
Sir, yes, sir.
What's your sole purpose in the ex-army, asshole?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, boy! That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard!
Thanks, sir.
Now get out of here! Go back to your barracks! Next group!
Sir, I saw someone behind the fence.
Fuck, scumbag, did I tell you to watch the damn fence?
No, sir.
Then does a fence remind you of your mother, motherfucker? Here, you don't see, you don't listen, you don't speak until I order you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Platoon, attention! Are you ladies the new recruits? Fuck, you're the saddest bunch I've ever met. And I've seen stacks of shit taller than you are. You think you're macho because you stuck.
I arrived at what looked like the exit of a barracks.
Hey, Mike. I'm late and I have to take this truck to the port. Are you gonna open the damn door or not? Hold on, I'm opening it.
My instinct told me the gate was going to open and a truck was going to leave. I could sneak onto the truck and get far away from here.
See you later. Yo, Mike! Mike! What's up? Hold on. I need to verify the departure permit. Fuck, Mike, hurry up! Yeah. Yo, Mike! Can I leave now? Negative. The lieutenant canceled the delivery. You'll have to come back in. Oh, holy fuck!